Back to Business podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Annis, and today we are switching things up a little bit. We are graced by four of the best interns in the country, I'm told. They're coming to us live from Wing Lake, and they're going to tell us a little bit about what Gen Z wants at work, insights from their summer internship, and we're going to just dive right in. So if everyone could go around and just introduce yourself, tell me your name, where you go to school, what year you'll be in school, and your major.
All right, I'll start. My name's Henry Ellenbogen. I go to Miami University in Ohio, and I'm going to be a senior, and I'm studying sports management and supply chain management.
I love it. You know what, Henry? I am a fellow Red Hawk, so happy to have you.
Sure.
Jack?
My name is Jack Flood. I'm a finance major at Michigan State, and I'll be a senior this year.
Love it.
My name is Ariella. I am going to be a senior at the University of Michigan, and I'm majoring in psych.
And I'm Kennedy Shear. I'm going to be a junior at the University of Michigan, and I am majoring in communications and media.
Very nice. All right. So obviously we have some young, bright talent in the room, future leaders of America, if you will. And I have to ask, we have a little rivalry at the table. We've got Michigan State, U of M. Did that cause any trouble this summer?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah.
Actually, surprisingly not. We were able to work together.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Even though some may think that that's
We just put
difficult.
our differences aside.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think my thoughts are kept to myself.
exactly.
Nice. Yeah, at Wing Lake, we recognize that both, University of Michigan and Michigan State people are all great. So I love it. Awesome. So let's jump right into the questions that I have for you guys, because I know the people listening are really going to be interested in what you have to say. So obviously, when you start looking at internships and thinking about what you're going to do for the summer, you research the companies that you're working for, or hoping to work for. So when you started looking into Wing Lake, what was the first thing that you noticed? You all just want to go around and just give a few words.
The first thing I noticed was the nonprofits, and it's not just a place you learn finance. I've learned about law. I've learned about media and even political relations, international political relations. And that was the first thing I noticed.
Awesome.
I'd say the first thing I noticed was from the website, it seemed like you guys genuinely care about helping businesses get out of tough times and rather than like other lending companies. And then also I saw that you guys have worked with many different industries and companies, and I thought that would be a great opportunity to learn from. So
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing as Jack, but for me, it was really the experience of the team and how much I thought I could learn from them. And whether it be in business relations or just personal experiences, their experience was really helpful. And I thought that could be great for me going forward.
One of the first things I noticed was actually the podcast when I was looking at the website. And I am not finance inclined by any means, but when I was looking at different companies and I was looking at their different strategies, I thought it was fun that Wing Lake did something a little bit different, and they were playing with different types of media to kind of get their full gist across. So that kind of intrigued me. So full circle moment right now.
Truly a full circle moment. I love that. And who knew you'd be on the podcast one day?
No.
Wow. Dreams do come true at Wing Lake Capital. Awesome. Thank you guys. That's all really good insight. And I guess for other companies who are looking to attract young talent, what's something that made a great first impression for you? Or what's something that they should focus on if they want to make a great first impression?
I honestly think that this is also just my marketing side showing through, but I think that having that welcoming presence on different social media platforms, especially you guys with the consistency in what you do on LinkedIn and the website with the podcast and showing that you're multifaceted and kind of obviously you focus on one thing, but you can show it to so many different people in different ways that work for them. So that's, I feel like, a huge thing that I thought kind of drew me in.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So other companies looking for interns, make sure that you're really applying yourself on your marketing tactics and across all different media, and that'll grab Gen Z's attention. At least Kennedy's attention. I love it. I think that's a really good point though, for sure. Anyone else want to weigh in on that?
Yeah. So I think that just like providing information on what you can benefit to the interns, because it's not just about what the interns can provide for the company, but what lessons and educational experiences that they can receive from the company and the experiences they get from it.
Yeah, for sure. That's such a great point, because the hope is that you build a nice foundation for when you go into the workforce. So yeah, I think we can't be selfish and say, what are we getting from you? But what are you guys getting from us? So great point. So what tells you that a company has a great work culture? Like, what are some things that maybe you picked up on this summer, or some things that you maybe came in thinking this would be the sign of a good culture or healthy work culture in a company?
Yeah, I can take this one. I'd say the first thing that comes to mind is communication. Here at Wing Lake, we have such a tight-knit group of people, and everyone's always open to answering questions and working together and collaborating. We have meetings every Wednesday and Friday to kind of go over everything, and interns are included, along the way throughout the process. And I think that's just super important, for interns and growth and collaboration.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Keeping the conversation open always, and open door policy, making sure the questions are answered and everyone's getting in on the magic. What behaviors from leaders stood out to you as positive, assuming that you interacted with senior leadership and went over things with them this summer?
Yeah. One thing that stood out to me was it really seemed like people here wanted me to succeed. Coming in here, I had like very little background on accounting and business in general, and people answering all my questions really kind of streamlined my learning. And that's it. Yeah, just being open and answering my questions and just working with the interns is definitely a big help. So
awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. It sounds like it's been a very positive experience so far.
definitely, yeah.
So I know that internships can sometimes get a bad rap because you think, oh, I'm just going to be doing busy work. I'm going to, be running out for coffees and things like that, or at least that's how it can be portrayed sometimes. But I feel like at Wing Lake, we try to make it a little bit more hands-on. So what's one thing you've learned here that you'll take into your future job?
I can take this one. I think the most important thing that I've learned, I'm sure that other interns can attest to this, is the importance of self-determination. And this is kind of going off what Jack was just saying. The resources are there. The team is clearly going above and beyond to give us those resources, but we're not going anywhere unless we want to. And I think that in a competitive business space, you need to have that self-determination. And I see that in everyone in the team here. And that's something I've learned this summer.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, just going into future jobs, I know that all of you will be very marketable when you graduate, and just take all the resources that you can, learn from everybody that you can, but you have to be the one diving in to make that happen. So I think that's a really good reminder. That's awesome. And another question for you, how can a company show that they're invested in your growth early on?
I think it's providing those resources and taking the time to go through everything, because obviously as interns, we don't have the same background or the same knowledge. So that kind of needs to be not given, but explained and gently handled, and then the person, the intern, can use their self-determination and use those resources.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really easy from an employer standpoint to just throw people into the deep end and say like sink or swim, see what happens. So it sounds like you've gotten a lot of good kind of coaching and training before you're asked to do certain tasks, which is important.
Yeah, for sure.
So how much does the company's mission or purpose influence you on where you'd like to work? Has that been important or influential for any of you guys as you approach this internship?
Yeah, I can talk about this one. So for me, companies like mission and values, they take a major role in like my decision making. They tell me what the company like really cares about, whether it's just profitability or actually helping people. Like we see at Wing Lake, they care more about helping people, even if it's not the best thing for them, but they want to help someone. They're going to help them to the fullest of their abilities to make sure that that company can either keep growing or just stay afloat. And I mean, there's also different aspects of that in Wing Lake through Firefly, helping people who are wrongly accused and imprisoned get a second chance at life. I think for me, that really shows the values that Wing Lake holds really high up. And it really makes a huge difference in how we operate as a company.
Well said. I love that. And I love that you mentioned Firefly. Obviously, we're focusing on Wing Lake here, but a great plug for Firefly Advocates, our nonprofit that helps wrongly imprisoned individuals in the Michigan state area. So yeah, great work. And it sounds like maybe you got to touch on that a little bit this summer with your internship.
I didn't get to as much, but
Okay.
just hearing about it and getting people who come in who were part of that program and meeting them really was a great experience.
Yeah. Shout out Dwayne. That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. I love the work that both Wing Lake and Firefly do. So I think that's wonderful. What kind of community or social impact makes you proud to say that you work somewhere?
Just like work that helps the community around you. And instead of just focusing on yourself, helping the whole community become better. And so the whole community can succeed in the future and currently, instead of just working on yourself, you want to help everyone.
Yeah, for sure. So not just focusing on profits and bottom line and punching in, punching out, but really making a difference in your community. Awesome. Thanks for taking that one, Henry. Just a few more things before we wrap it all up here, and maybe we'll get some last words from the interns on, what their summer was like. But what are the day-to-day things that make you feel valued at work? Something that other companies that are looking to hire young talent could maybe take and put into their internship programs.
I'll take this one. I think that we all kind of go off of verbal affirmation and like hearing those words from your superiors after, especially I think we all came in with not the most amount of knowledge about what we were going to do. I think that when like there's so much that we do every single day, it would be pretty impossible to be ready to go right out of college. So hearing everybody here kind of walk us through it and give us like at the end of the day or at the end of the week, like, hey, Kennedy, hey, Ariel, Jack, Henry, you did a great job this week, I think was huge for me. I remember like sitting at this table one week and I heard that and I was like, yes, I'm finally getting it. So I think just giving interns kind of even those like small things means a lot. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So just positive reinforcements. You're doing a good job, hearing that feedback. And I think everyone can relate to that because who doesn't like to hear that, especially if it's genuine and true. And that just sets you up for success for the week. You want to hear that more often. So, all right. That's great advice for other employers. And then what's one thing or one change you think most companies could make that would instantly make them more appealing to your generation? So when you start applying for jobs, when you graduate, when you apply for other internships for future summers?
Well, I think that I'm just going to remember looking for jobs in the future that when I first came here, I was very weary about the responsibilities that I was given, and I didn't know if I had enough background or the credentials to be able to do what I was being asked to do. And the people here kind of gave me the reassurance far more than I thought I was capable of being like, you can go off and do this. Like, there's no reason that you walking in here right now can't go off and do this. So I think that going forward, it's going to be something that I'm 100% going to look for, because I remember, like, especially when I was first here, it was like a solid 2 or 3 weeks. And I was thinking, I was like, why am I being given so much responsibility? Because I don't think that I'm capable of doing it. And obviously I'm here like a couple months later and it's all been completely fine. So I think it's definitely something that I'm going to look for in another internship or just my job in general.
I love to hear that. It sounds like you built a lot of confidence this summer. Not that you didn't already have it, but certainly in the workforce, building up that confidence. I think that's wonderful, because as someone who has interned before many, many moons ago, I remember thinking, like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Why are you guys trusting me with any of this? And then you pull it off and you're like, wow, okay, we got this. And then going into your full-time careers one day, you'll hopefully bring that same confidence and just keep building on it. You might just go from, like, graduate to CEO. Who knows?
That's the dream.
The sky's the limit, you guys. Well, it sounds like after talking to the 4 of you that it's been a really positive summer. I know, Henry, you said that you are going into your senior year, so you'll be looking for full-time employment. So if anyone wants to check out Henry's resume, maybe we'll link it in the bio of this podcast so that you can check him out and see if he might be a good fit for your company. But Ariella, Jack, and Kennedy, you'll be looking for internships again next summer. Correct?
I'm a senior as well.
Oh, you're a senior as well. All right. Sorry, guys. So Jack, another plug, will include your resume in the bio of this podcast.
I too.
We'll just throw you all in there, and companies looking for really exceptionally great talent who I feel like took the bull by the horns this summer, really dove into work and learning. And I mean, I feel like you all were sponges, just absorbing as much information and knowledge as you could, and really did such a wonderful job. So I appreciate all of your insights. And, if you want to join us again one day next summer, once you've graduated or when you're looking for another internship, I'm just going to say I think you're welcome back, but I'll talk to the rest of the team. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in to Back to Business. We'll be back again sometime in the future with some other interesting guests.